The following is a paid advertisement. The views expressed are the sole responsibility of the advertiser.
I'm attorney Justin Krak. Coming up just out on You Have Real Estate, they changed the way you make roof claims to repair your roof, all saying that it's going to decrease your rates. Is that true? It's all just ahead. It's You Have Real Estate.
You Have Real Estate is proudly sponsored by Renewal by Andersen, your full-service window and door replacement company. Learn more at rbafla.com.
Welcome to You Have Real Estate, brought to you by Renewal by Andersen. I am your host, Justin Krak. A wonderful show ahead for you today, but first, the opening statement. What a weird time when it comes to homeowners insurance. They sort of took away some of our rights, and they did it under the guise of, well, don't worry, your homeowners insurance rates are going to go down. Just the opposite has happened. Our rates have skyrocketed. Not only that, people are just getting canceled nonstop for no reason whatsoever. So think about it like this. Let's say that you have a leaky roof, you own the house, but you're afraid to file a claim on the roof because you're afraid you're going to get canceled. What do you do in that situation? A great question, a question that we will answer by asking real questions. Every weekend here on the program, we ask real questions to the truly trend-setting people, oftentimes friends of mine as well in the real estate community. Kick it off today with someone who is trend-setting, but also my friend, Jason Seda. How are you, buddy?
Good, buddy. How you doing?
LPT is dominating, by the way. It's really unbelievable. You latched on to Robert and LPT early on. What are you seeing with that brokerage?
I mean, how do I put it? It's exploding. I mean, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else, to be honest with you right now. The growth that we've had in the past 2.5 years, it's taken other big companies more than 8 to 10, if you really think about it. So I can imagine where we're going to be in 8 years from now. I mean, we're already in almost every single state, Puerto Rico, and now Canada, so I can imagine what's to come here.
A lot. You're one of the rare agents who has their hands on the pulse, really, of commercial and residential real estate.
Yes.
I don't see that very often. How similar are they? How similar is residential to commercial when it comes to real estate?
Well, it's not that similar, I'll be honest with you. I mean, compared to residential, you know, it's the wild, wild west is what I call commercial, but it is a great part of the real estate to be in if you are a realtor. I mean, as far as selling gas stations, warehouses, land, office buildings, I mean, it's been a blessing to be knowledgeable on how everything works, you know, and the commission's pretty good too, so I can't complain about that.
Okay. During COVID, a lot of people obviously learned to work from home. A lot of offices were vacant. You know, federal government now, they're trying to send people back.
Yes.
But how did COVID affect commercial real estate?
So, and you know, going back to the times of COVID, you know, we were closing 3 to 4 houses a month during COVID. It was pretty interesting while everybody was sitting home. But yes, everybody who had, you know, a business and had an office space and had about 200 people in their office, they're all working from home now. Guess what? You still got to pay the lease. So a lot of these buildings became vacant, you know, 50% vacant, 80% vacant. And even till today, there's a lot of vacancies. So the big fallout we're seeing now is office buildings. Yeah. It's going to be the first.
Well, last year we heard a lot, obviously, about interest rates skyrocketing for residential. Do interest rates for commercial follow what the interest rates do for residential real estate?
They're a little higher.
Okay.
Now, you know, if all said and done, if the Federal Reserve does drop the interest rate and, you know, allows us to breathe a little more, especially for the middle class, because that's where it really needs to be. You know, it needs to be more affordable. So the same thing goes for construction. You know, anybody who wants construction paying 8 to 9% interest rate, they want a little lower. So yes, I do believe interest rates do need to drop for movement to start picking up again.
So let's say I'm home watching right now. I want to get into investing in real estate. I don't know what's going on with the stock market. I want to be a real estate investor. Maybe I've even bought a few residential homes and I rent them out, but I'm ready to step it up to the big time. I want to do investing in commercial real estate. What do you tell me?
So believe it or not, the wholesaling game has begun in commercial real estate. Yes, of course, what we're going to be seeing now is more office buildings going into foreclosure. So you got to look into the section where it's bleeding the most, as I would say. So retail plazas and office buildings, I would definitely recommend to look into because things are picking back up now. People are starting to go back to work again, but you know those bills still keep piling for those owners of those buildings. Yeah. And a lot of these notes are ballooning.
If I haven't invested in commercial real estate yet, my first dipping my toe into the water in commercial real estate, What would I be looking for? Am I looking for a warehouse? Am I looking for a commercial condo? What should I be looking for?
So warehouses are actually huge in Florida right now. I mean, you see we have a lot of movement from Walmart to Amazon coming here, building million-square-foot warehouses throughout the state. So that's another big business. Distribution is very big here in Florida. Of course, it's a business-friendly state. So definitely warehouses. Land is a big one, too. You know, finding agricultural land and finding a way to rezone it to commercial triples the value.
Really?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And how do I do that? I mean, who do I need to know? Who do I need to call to make that happen?
Contact, yourself or myself, and I can direct you in the right way.
We know people?
We know a couple people.
That's why I invite them on the show. So,
Definitely. I would be more than happy to help out anybody.
You have a couple properties on the market right now, commercial-wise, and I'd like to give you an idea of what you could invest in if you're looking to invest in commercial real estate. And two very different properties, and start down in Port St. Lucie. $875,000, a decent entry-level commercial property. Tell me about this one.
Great little location. It's right off of US 1 in Port St. Lucie. It's 3,000 square feet of warehouse space, about 16 feet of ceiling. It's actually broken up in 3 units, so you can purchase it as a business owner, be a distributor. It's currently leased out to a carpet floor business. But you can break it up into 3 units, 1,000 square feet each, lease them out individually, or keep it as a whole.
Yeah, almost like a duplex in some ways in the residential world, if you will.
Yeah, you can definitely make some money off of that one.
If you'd like to see this property, or maybe you want to talk to Jason about getting into investing in commercial real estate, or residential for that matter, 407-205-0400. Now down in Eustis, a city I know well, I used to have a law firm there and a commercial property there as well. It's now a coffee shop. $4.2 million. Tell me about this one. So, and going back to investments, right? Let's just say for this one's $4.2 million, 17.5 acres right off of Orange Ave. The city has approved mixed use on this. They're pretty lenient on what you can build on there. So you can go from an apartment complex. The density is 12:1, so you can put about 202 units on this piece of land. 17.2 of it is developable. So it's high and dry, which is any developer's dream, so they don't have to worry about mitigating. But this property, you can put townhomes, you can even put a church here, believe it or not. Really?
Pretty wide open on it. But, for example, you purchase this for $4.2 million and you're an investor and you want to learn how to flip and wholesale land, this property entitled is worth about $6 million. Let's just give an example there.
When you say wholesale, describe for us what wholesale really means.
So wholesaling is, let's say you own a piece of property and I say, Justin, I'm going to purchase this property from you at this purchase price. And then what I do is I lock it up in the contract, but I make it assignable because I have an end buyer who may want to pay, $1 million more for the property. And what happens is you sign that property to it and you make $1 million in between. That's wholesaling.
It sounds like a lot of fun.
It does, right?
I don't have to do anything, just
residential is the same way, just on a smaller basis, but that's why people are now leaning towards wholesaling and commercial.
Last question for you. A lot of business owners I know watch this program, and everyone wants to buy their house, right? You don't want to rent. I'm gonna own my house. But business owners oftentimes think it's better to rent their commercial property. But why is that? And what do you think? What do you tell a business owner? Should they buy their location or should they rent it?
Honestly, personally, I'd rather own, because number one, your mortgage is probably going to be a lot less than what you're going to lease it for. And, said and done, if you want to grow, you're ready for a bigger location, you may have a bunch of equity held in that property rather than just dumping money away for rent. Same thing with houses.
Yeah, I agree. I think if you own a business and you can buy that location, you're paying rent. Your business is really paying the rent. 10 years down the road, now you own it. You're sitting on $1 million, $2 million, whatever it's worth. It's pretty amazing. Jason, great to see you, brother.
Likewise,
as always,
man. Always a pleasure,
We'll see you soon. Come back and visit anytime you want, okay?
Thank you, buddy.
Here's what we will do. A very quick break. When we return, your roof is a mess. You're worried about your insurance company canceling you. Look, your roof doesn't have to be a mess to worry about your insurance company canceling you. They're doing that to everyone anyway. Also, Viv goes to your neighborhood, Ponce Inlet, when you have real estate continues. You own a house, you need to have your windows and sliding glass doors checked right away. I'll tell you why. Joined by my good friend Dan Bringman, Renewal by Anderson. How do I know, Dan, when it's time to have my windows and sliding glass doors checked?
Well, it's a great question because it's not always obvious. One of the ways that sticks out immediately is that energy bill. We have to make, we've seen it go up all year long. Got a couple cool days now. A couple other ways are they're not functioning properly. You have some dust on the seals, and also just water infiltration, or maybe you heard a lot of rattling during some wind and so forth.
Absolutely. QR code is on the screen for you right now. What does it cost to have you and your design team come out and see what's going on with my windows?
Absolutely nothing but your time.
That's a beautiful thing, and they're going to come check it out, tell you exactly what you need or don't need sometimes. But a lot of people say, well, Dan, I'm worried about the economy. I don't want to write a big check right now. You've done amazing things to make this almost free sometimes when you compare it to your electric bill.
Absolutely, and it's a great thing to be concerned about, but we take the worry away. What we've done is we've extended our finance plans, and we call them our easy pay plans, and they go up to 144 months, and we go as low as 5.97. I mean, that's like really low. Most terms out there go as high as 12, 14%.
And if you think about what you're paying every month versus how you're going to save money on your electricity bill, this is almost free for you and a no-brainer. Dan, always good to see you, buddy. Do yourself a favor right now. Hit the QR code on the screen and call Renewal by Anderson today. Welcome back to the show. Every weekend, thanks to Renewal by Anderson, Viv goes to your neighborhood. Today, a very special place to me, the home of Jerry's Tiki Bar. Viv's in your neighborhood in Ponce Inlet.
I'm highlighting our Florida beaches these next couple of weeks, and I'm at beautiful Ponce Inlet today, just south of Daytona Beach. It's known for its charming location and easy access to the ocean. It's become a mecca for boat enthusiasts, tourists, locals, and school field trips alike. Known for having the tallest lighthouse in Florida, it's a favorite challenge to those who want to climb the many steps to the top in order to enjoy the ocean and intercoastal views. The area's natural beauty is a perfect backdrop for fishing, kayaking, and hiking, with its pristine beaches and wildlife refuge providing a serene environment for outdoor enthusiasts. The nearby museum showcases the rich history of the region, and it doubles as a turtle and bird treatment center. The median household income is about $165,000. The median home value in 2024 was $545,000. Fun fact: Ponce Inlet owes its name to Spanish conquistador Juan Ponce de Leon, who legend has it discovered the Sunshine State on a quest to find the fabled Fountain of Youth. You know what pairs well with outdoor activities? Pizza. I never miss an opportunity to go by Jerry's Pizza to grab a slice and enjoy the entertainment they offer on the weekends. If you want to enjoy some outdoor places, check out the Green Mound State Archaeological Site, an ancient Indian midden that spans 41 acres between the ocean and Halifax River. If you want more information on Ponce Inlet and what's available, call me at 407-205-0400.
Welcome back to the show. Hey, look, this is not a political show by any stretch of the imagination, but what's happened politically with this certain issue over the last couple of years has been really disgusting. I mean, it's been really disgusting for you, what they've done in Tallahassee to you. I want to ask my good friend, attorney Greg Krak, about just that. Greg, welcome to the show. How are you?
Great, Justin.
We've talked about this over the last couple of years, right? So the legislator changed the law to where people really, it was harder for them to sue their insurance company. And the whole point of this was, well, but this is going to be a benefit to everyone because your rates are going to come down. Anyone who owns a house, you know what's happened to your homeowners insurance rates over the last 2 years. If you're lucky enough that they haven't canceled your insurance, those rates have skyrocketed. Those premiums have skyrocketed. What is going on?
That's a good question. You have to ask the lawmakers up in Tallahassee. So they promised everyone in the state of Florida, with our skyrocketing premiums, people couldn't even afford to stay in their houses. They couldn't pay their homeowners insurance. And of course, as you know, if you have a mortgage on your house, you have to have, it's not a choice, you have to have homeowners insurance. And so the lawmakers promised everyone, look, we're going to make some changes, make it much more difficult for homeowners to hold their insurance companies accountable in court. And so they did that. They passed some laws and promised everyone, you're going to see rates coming down. Give it 2 years. And I just saw, as I told you before we went on the show, an article in Palm Beach Post, how even some of the lawmakers are like, look, where are these promises? They're empty promises, from the insurance industry about the premiums coming down. And now the constituents are barking at the lawmakers up in Tallahassee saying, what's going on? Our rates are continuing to go up.
I'm surprised more people are not complaining about this, or maybe they are, right? What would you tell someone, what can they do to really let their lawmakers know that they're not happy about this?
Yeah. If you just go online, you can find out with a quick Google search who your representative is for your area. Look them up, and anyone that calls into my office about an insurance claim, I tell them, I say, look, please contact your legislator. They say, well, what am I going to do? I'm one person, one call. I go, just send an email. Make sure it's in writing, and they can bring it up at one of the hearings they go to and talk about the insurance crisis that we have in Florida. And it hasn't been fixed. The lawmakers promised us these new laws that were changed back in, it's right after actually Hurricane Ian, back in 2022. It made insurance companies happy, but now it's harder to hold them accountable, and our rates are still going up.
I have a lot of friends who are state reps, and I have no problem telling them exactly how I feel, and I just disagree with the Republicans on this one. I do. I guess I shouldn't tell you what I'm registered as. I'm a registered Republican, okay? Whatever. I've never said that on the show. But I completely and totally disagree, and I think you should too, with them changing this law. And what really happened, Greg, down in the trenches when they changed the law? How did that affect people with their insurance claims?
Well, it used to be, and this law was in place in Florida for over 100 years, literally over 100 years. And not to get into too much detail, but the Florida Supreme Court years ago came out with a ruling and said, look, this law is good public policy because most insurance companies have lawyers in-house on their payroll. How many homeowners in Florida have their own attorney on their payroll? Not many. So this rule is in place that if you hire a lawyer and you have to sue your insurance company and you win, and only if you win, the insurance company had to pay your attorney's legal fees. And they threw that out. In December of 2022, that law was repealed. And so now for the smaller claim, $5,000, $10,000, that's still a lot of money, but lawyers may not take that because the insurance companies know they can hold it up in court and drag it out, and the lawyers won't get any money. They'll lose money on the case, in fact. So it just makes it much more difficult to go in and sue the insurance companies.
Yeah, it is. It's way more difficult, but you still can do it. I mean, sometimes we have no choice, right? You have a hole in your roof. It wasn't your fault. It was the fault of a storm or otherwise. What do you do in that situation now when the insurance company denies your claim?
You're right. You still can't sue them, and I still take those cases. We have to evaluate them on a case-by-case basis. But a lot of times, like you said, you have a hole in your roof from a storm. The insurance company may deny your claim, and then to add fuel to the fire, they'll say, oh, by the way, if you don't repair that, we're going to drop you. And so in situations like that, you have no choice but to sue them, and you do need to get an attorney to hold them accountable. It's more difficult, but again, not impossible. And you have to go after the insurance company and hold their feet to the fire to get reimbursed.
If you have questions about any of this, free consultation, okay? 407-205-0400. I'll connect you directly with Greg, and he'll look through your policy. He'll look through what's going on and give you some honest advice as to, yeah, let's sue them, or let's send a letter, or maybe there's nothing we can do. He's going to at least honestly tell you what the best move is for you. And to make matters worse, rates have gone up significantly, but I've never seen more insurance policies just get canceled for no reason. People aren't filing claims and they're getting canceled. Why do you think that is?
Honestly, I'm not quite sure.
Yeah.
I think insurance companies may see certain areas where more claims are filed, they're higher risk, and so they want to, lessen the chances they'll have to pay out more claims at a higher rate, especially near the coast. That makes it more difficult, or more hurricane-prone areas. That may be one of the reasons. But you're right. At this point, it's getting a little out of control. That insurance companies don't even have to give a reason why they're non-renewing you. They just have to give you proper notice. So, a lot of people are, getting their roof checked out, getting other things checked out if they get that notice of non-renewal, so they can get insurance with somebody else. Because that house is going to be scrutinized if they have to try and get insurance with another company.
Attorney Greg Krak, good job as always. Call him if you have insurance questions. Insurance, it's like a necessary evil. I don't know. It seems like all a big racket to me, and they know how to make money. They put it in buildings, but we need them as well. I don't know. I don't have the right answers, but what they've done on the homeowners insurance issues over the last couple of years, just completely wrong. Quick break. You Have Real Estate continues. I'm attorney Justin Clark. If you're worried about your student loan payments restarting, call me now or visit youhavepower.com. Welcome back to the show. I really do hate how insurance companies are treating you right now. You pay these premiums. A lot of times you've had the same policy with the same insurance company for 10 or 15 years. Then finally you file a claim and they're like, no, we're not paying for it. But it also, if you're looking to sell your house, these pending insurance claims can be a problem as well. Like they can prevent you sometimes from closing. Let's bring in Elisha Lopez, LPT Realty World. I'm selling my house finally. I've decided I'm going to sell it. But I've got this pending insurance claim for my roof, and they haven't really repaired the roof yet because the insurance company hasn't paid for it. How can that affect my closing as I go to sell my home?
You gotta wait.
Yeah.
Yes, and so depending on a buyer's situation, if they can wait, they might, be a job transfer or whatever it is, and they need to move quickly. But I mean, a buyer's going to be happy to have a new roof eventually.
Sure.
So I guess timelines it really depends on.
Yeah, and I think that the roof is such an important part of the real estate transaction if you think about it. But that seller, when you go to that listing appointment with them and they say, all right, my roof is old, should I get a new roof or not? How important is the roof to buyers when it comes to selling a home?
Super important.
Yeah.
And of course with hurricanes and Marion County in the middle of the state, we don't get the storms the same way everybody else does, but we still get them. And it's Florida, so it's just like everyone's guard, like, oh, the roof, and is it going to blow off? And insurance rates are going to be the best the newer the roof is.
Right.
So it is super important.
And you also have to think about it from the buyer's side, though, as well, especially if they're getting a mortgage. They're going to need to get their own insurance policy, and oftentimes that insurance policy is going to require a newish roof as well.
Yeah, because any type of finance deal, they'll need a 4-point inspection, and the roof is one of those 4 points. So if the roof is not going to have 4 or 5 years left roof life on it, then they need a new one. And so that's where it really is important that the buyer's agent is working with the buyer is working with an experienced agent, and the listing agent is experienced, because there's ways to get around that. Like, you can include the roof in the sale, and the seller doesn't have out-of-pocket expenses. It can get paid out of the proceeds if you have the right roofer that will do that.
The roof, I guess, is probably the most important when it comes to the structure of the house. What is the second most important? Is it AC? I'm just guessing. I don't know.
Yeah, and it depends on where you live. Because, yes, of course, the AC. But, in Marion County, we mostly have septic and we have well. So those two are part of the water part, and if the septic system needs a new drain field, then there's an issue.
Oh.
Yeah, so public sewer? That's great, but you pay for it going out and coming in. And in our area, you don't pay for any of that, so that's awesome.
Yeah, right.
If it works.
And whether you're buying or selling anywhere in northern Florida, I'd like you to check out Elisha Lopez, LPT Realty World. The QR code is on the screen right now. Great investment opportunities up in the Marion County area. It's a beautiful part of the world too. WEC is up there. It's a horseback rider's paradise in a lot of ways, or horse owner paradise.
It is, and so I don't ride horses, and I didn't grow up in the equestrian community, but even for somebody from a big city, it makes you fall in love with the whole equestrian world for sure.
Yeah, and the prices. The price of real estate, we talked about it before on the show, significantly less expensive than here.
It is 40% less, all of Ocala. And I'm now that we talk about it, I realize, so Ocala, yes, and then outside of that in Marion County and Levy County, it's a little more than the 40%. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. QR code on the screen right now for LPT Realty World. And what I like about it is sometimes you have listings that are not even on the market yet, that if you have the right buyer, you can reach out to them and say, hey, look, I might have this available. But as listings come on the market, you automatically send them directly to you at home, where you can kind of be first in line to make an offer.
Oh yeah, and that's, even with all the technology now, it's still so important, because back in the day that was a thing.
Yeah.
But it really still is, because most agents are just going to depend on popping in an MLS, hoping, wishing, and waiting for something to happen. But when you have tons and tons of buyers and a database for so many years, there's somebody in there looking for it.
Absolutely.
So that helps.
Buying or selling any real estate in Ocala, this is the person to talk to. I'm so glad we're able to bring her to you every week, because it's really changed the way I look at real estate. Real estate is affordable. You just have to look a little further out. Elisha Lopez, great job. Thanks to all of our amazing guests today and the crew here in-house. Thank you, guys. Most importantly, thank you. See you again next week for more You Have Real Estate. Your debt does not have to control your life. You have the power to potentially lower or even eliminate your debt. I'm attorney Justin Krak. Call me now for a free consultation or visit youhavepower.com and take back control of your financial life.
The proceeding was a paid advertisement. The views expressed were the sole responsibility of the advertiser.